We are failing our men. We sat with a kid that was barely an adult for 2 hours while he was in distress because he was taught you do not cry. It doesn't matter what it takes, you hold it in, you shove it down, you do not cry. Because if you cry, you are not a man, you are weak, you're a loser. What fucking bullshit. Everybody cries. Everybody has feelings, everybody gets hurt and sad and lonely, and everybody has pain. And if you don't let it out and cry and share with somebody that is safe, you end up doing what this kid did. And you can probably hear our anger. We're going to tell you why we're so goddamn angry. While it was an honor to be present in this kid's distress and to sit with him while he let out a lifetime of tears, we are angry because he was never taught to consider other people. We can say that because this kid said, "Can I ask you a question because you're a woman?" What was supposed to be a 3-minute rideshare ride became 2 hours because this kid did not have the ability or the awareness to ask if we had the time to talk with him, if we had the capability, if we had the emotional spoons to handle his trauma, his lifetime of tears. But yes, it was an honor, and yet he held us emotionally hostage for 2 hours because nobody in their right mind would leave somebody like that in distress. And we are proud to say that we sat with him through our own triggers and our own pain because he needed that. He needed to understand that it is okay to cry, that it is normal. At one point, we told him, "So your father is a real man, right? He doesn't cry. He never cries." And he says, "That's right." And so we told him, "And how many people in your father's life are happy?" And his response was, "None." And that was a moment for him. We said, "Son, maybe society is wrong. Maybe men should cry. Maybe it's healthier if men cry." So 2 hours in, when the tears would not stop, and when our triggers became too important to ignore, we were finally able to arrange for someone to get the police at the location to help this kid because he needed far more help than we could give. And even though we are angry about the situation, we are grateful that he got the help that he needed. And we hope that he continues on that path to recovery. We hope that he shows his father what a real man is and how a real man functions in the world by being vulnerable. And in a man's vulnerability, he allows others to feel safe. When we knew that the police would be arriving, we had to trust that the parts that we have because of dissociative identity disorder could keep us safe. Because our last interaction with police was them putting us in handcuffs and taking us to a psych ward and lying, saying that we were homeless and we were a threat to ourselves, that we had attempted suicide when that was not true. A year and a half ago, if the police had arrived, it would have been death by cop. We would not have been able to stop ourselves from acting in an aggressive way simply out of being trauma triggered, because the last police we interacted with didn't give a shit about serve and protect. They only thought about following orders and not making a rational decision, not scrolling it up the flagpole to see if there was any other choice. And so we would have been trauma triggered and we would have been unable to stop and feel anything but fear in that moment. And this kid did not even have the capacity to consider the danger that he could potentially put somebody else in, because his need to cry and process to a stranger and trauma dump on a stranger for 2 hours was greater than any need that that person might have. So shame on fucking society, because we are failing our fucking men. Thank God that we found a treatment place that worked for us, that worked with us for 6 months to get us stable and to a point where we could process enough trauma, we could function in the world with relative ease. At least to outsiders, it looks easy. It is not easy. Every day is a goddamn struggle. And every day we choose life. We choose hope. We choose to walk through the process of recovery to get to the other side. And when we interact with others, we default to compassion, because the world needs more compassion. So to that young man, we want to say thank you for trusting us and feeling safe enough to let out a lifetime of pain and hurt. It was an honor to sit with you in your distress, and it was an honor to get you help and watch you accept that help. To society, we have to stop failing our men. This is the next generation of fathers, and we have to do better.